What's going on, everybody? It's Great Scots here with our second historical battle. While I'm mulling what to do with the campaign, try to fix it if it's possible, or starting a new one. Some of the ideas for a different one would be either to do CSA in 62. The earlier the better, I think. The more interesting it is to perhaps do something different than what really happened. For the sake of reenactment and all that, or to play the Union 61 campaign. I mean, there are pros and cons to both, but I haven't made a decision, and a lot of the historical battles are really good. Again, you've probably seen other YouTubers play them, and they're all great. I like the ones that are a challenge, so Antietam is certainly one of those. I actually did play this one all the way through. I think it was the first historical battle. Nah, I did first and second Manassas first. But Antietam was a real big challenge, so I decided I'll do that one as CSA. And we'll see what kind of result we can get. We're outnumbered about 2 to 1 here, as we were on the Chancellorsville map previously. And we'll see if we'll be able to do any better. The first time I played this, did pretty well. I think by the time I got tired of it, it took a couple hours, and so this isn't going to be that, well, hopefully this isn't going to be that long, but we'll see. There was a lot of micromanagement last time. Reinforcements come from a ways away, and so you kind of got to time the reinforcements to end up where you think they're going to need to come. What ended up happening when I played it through couldn't have been that long ago, it was probably a week or two ago. What ended up happening last time is I sent sufficient forces here that they didn't try to cross, and instead they tried to cross the middle bridge en masse. I mean, I'd say probably half or 2/3 of the Union forces here trying to cross. I had a small group here that was trying to cross. Up here we eventually we routed. There's a force here, and I think there was another force that maybe came in, if you can see the cursor, that came in here, just north of Miller's Farm. It was hairy. I'm not gonna lie, but we ultimately did it. Getting these reinforcements into the battle is going to be key. You gotta kind of leave enough people here in the south on some of these crossings that they don't try to cross them. And if you can get them, I think we got a lot of casualties out of the Union when we tried to get them to cross here, because there's just very little cover, and I had a bunch of artillery sitting up here in a kind of concave just east of, I think this is Sharpsburg. So who knows what will happen this time around. The general plan, I think, is to get these forces together. We don't want to be too spread out, but it's going to depend a little bit on what the Union does. I mean, if they're a little spread out, that opens up opportunities for flank and enfilade fire. We certainly would like that if we can get it, but if we're too spread out, we can be pushed and overrun piecemeal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these armies slightly different starting positions. Very few of these forces are large enough that I can pull skirmishers out of. So if you hated all the skirmishers last time or loved them or whatever, unfortunately they're not going to be here in mass this time. You can see the unit size. I think Law can produce skirmishers. Wofford, whatever his name is. I couldn't pronounce it in the last historical video. I haven't figured it out for this one. If they're too small, you're not going to be able to pull skirmishers. But the ones I can pull skirmishers out of, I definitely want to figure out where I'm going to position people and to give time for my reinforcements to come up. Because we do have a pretty good defensive position, high ground, with relatively clear terrain in front of us for our arty. So we'll find those positions and then we'll get started. Alright, so I think I have everything where I want it. Probably not, but I think I do. We have our marching orders for our really 3 groups down in the south. I pulled skirmishers out of just about everyone I could and got them set to long range. The they there was the normal brigades. I don't know yet if there is a way to get entire divisions to switch ranges to long range. That would be incredibly helpful if there was a way to do that, rather than individually clicking them through. It probably took about 10-15 minutes while I had this paused to get all this little stuff set up. Again, the devs have been great about responding to not just bugs but also suggestions, and so I doubt they're going to listen to this rinky-dink little channel here in this episode nonetheless. But if they were, I would say try to find a key binding or something, or give us an option to do that. That would be greatly appreciated, and it would delete one easy criticism of the game. I don't think the game at this point, even in early access, deserves many criticisms, but I think that could become one. People will feel like, why do I got to take so much time to do something that should be able to be done with one click? Okay. Try to move this through a little quickly. I gotta take a look and see what crossing they're going to look to. Now over here it looks to me like they're heading up to Middle Bridge. I could be wrong, and I don't want to call off the defense of some of these other ones until I'm sure that that's the case. But it looks to me like that's where they're going. So if this is Walker's division, we're going to have to move up here pretty quickly to try to catch them before they get across. They could still take the lower bridge. There's still quite a bit down here to the south. They're continuing to press. Now I think when I played this last time, I think this ended up being a bit of a fake out, but I don't know that that's always the case. And this time they may actually decide to commit to any one of these crossings, lower bridge, the one south of it where Tombs is, or this one further south. I believe this is actually from War of Rights. This is not from my vast non-existent knowledge of history. I think Tombs' division is actually the one that held Burnside's bridge. I want to also get this. This I did not do while we were on a break, but I do want to do now. I want to get the cavalry dismounted, because if you're going to be in combat, you don't want to be sitting up on a horse making yourself a very easy target. I would like to get these guys into the woods if I can. Again, I think every little bit of cover helps. They seem fairly committed. I mean, there's a question of whether I really care if it's just one brigade that's going to get itself cut off from the rest of the Union force, and we'll just deal with that as they come. Again, I'd like you guys to get all on long range. Get you out there on that little tiny peninsula. But if Harland wants to go out on his own, God bless him. We'll try to get these skirmishers down and get some fire on the forces approaching this one, and yeah, we'll go from there. I'm not sure really what to do with Hill's division. I mean, we're getting pressed big time from the north. I'm not sure the forces that are up there are really up to the challenge. Maybe. Probably not. But anyways, that's what I'm looking at. it looks like they're going pretty all in here for middle bridge. And since that's the case, we're going to slide down to meet them. I don't think we're going to have the numbers to stop them. That's not really the name of this game. The name of this game is just imposing casualties for it. Maybe we'll move Manning all the way down. Harlan's decided to come back anyways. Wallace is out on this peninsula now. I think they will make a play for this fort up here, this bridge up here. And I got almost no one to stop them. I guess I don't have to, right? It's not a requirement. Wilcox is just in a position that doesn't really let him do anything. And I think he's also holding... I don't know why I said Wilcox. That was probably the previous battle, but Wharton's battery, he also appears to be holding Lee back, although Lee has to issue orders to those who are way down here anyways, so being somewhat centrally located is not the worst. We're going to get Walker over to defend the lower bridge. I'm going to keep Toombs here until others pass. Manning should cover the approaches to, I don't know if this is just a land bridge, a fort, or whatever, but it doesn't appear to be named on the map. The lower bridge below it is. Okay. Get squared up. Wallace detachments taking casualties. I don't know that Hampton's probably should have had a group in these trees here, but we didn't. By we, of course, I mean me. But it appears that the Union is just going to press these two forces in toward the Dunker Church. That's, I mean, it's not fine, but it's expected at this point. Move some forces up to try to get in position for that, but it's just going to be bad. I got to move these guys back. It may be too late for Laws's. Maybe if I give them great morale, it'll help. But my guess is, if they're at the point that they're nervous, there are other morale stages, but they're probably going to break. Alright. Now, I guess they're still committed to the attack on Middle Bridge. We gotta get some long-range shooting going on. Okay, you gotta get facing the right way. I think I have you stuck on that bridge. Or that fence. That's a fine angle, that's a fine angle. Dayton. Get you over there. Get you over there. Hill ain't doing much here. Which is maybe okay. At this point, he can go either north and try to release some of that pressure, or go south and reinforce the Middle Bridge. We're going to move Toombs up. There is some micromanagement here, obviously. Yeah, it'd be great if it went faster, but being stupid, it's hard for me to do those things and also appear half competent. So they're starting to make their push over the middle bridge. Looks like they're being led by cavalry. It's an interesting call. Just like having your infantry pointed away from them. Your skirmishers pointed away from them. Who will not point towards them. Okay, there we go. Again, these guys really don't want to go long range, but they have to. Manning's group is fine. Again, when I've played this, the one time I played this in the past, their infantry absolutely just crunked. I don't remember who was in the center, but they crunked whoever it was, and they pushed all the way back to, I think, about here before the Arty just blasted those lead elements. And honestly, given the distance that the reinforcements need to cover and the numbers that they're getting on middle bridge, I think that's likely to happen again. So this party out here at Pelham's, they actually have a pretty good field of fire. It's going to be that good. There's no sense in moving them up and getting them and having them cease firing. Must have missed these guys for their long range selections, but the ammo conservation, all the rest, that's not really a concern of mine. Hayes' detachments doing work. And again, work is just, at this point, just slowing the enemy down a bit. And imposing some costs and trying to delay everything. Looks like there's now a significant push at this bridge. Up here. I mean, Union forces have apparently captured both sides of it, which bodes very well for them. Miss anything? Everybody's in contact. Yeah. Okay. Alright. Alright, reinforcements are making their way, but I'm not sure when they're gonna be here in enough time. These guys just cannot get close enough with their shotguns to do much that's useful. I want to keep the larger forces. Fitzhugh and Hampton's brigade back. You know what? I want to keep everybody back. Okay, looks like we got a route here. Well, it's just a detachment, doesn't really matter, I guess. First Brigade. That's heavy. That's about a 25%. Hayes' detachment is determined, but it's taking casualties. Douglas is in very good shape. I think we've now lost a skirmisher. It looks like they've routed off. Anderson is far forward against numbers. That could happen to him as well. smarter than I am, I would try to get these guys into these trees here. It does get them close to enemy artillery, which is where I don't want to be, but it also gets them in the cover. And it gives them better angles on the bridge. But the real bridge that's being contested is still this middle bridge. They had lined up. What are you doing? That's an okay idea. It's not a great idea. I'd like these guys to move up to the bridge. Well, not all the way, but I'd like them to move up to those fences on the road to the bridge. The reason is the closer they are, the more accurate they're going to be. And if we're playing a game of I don't know if we're playing any sort of game other than Grand Tactician Civil War, but I'd like the few men who are there. I think we're outnumbered, and so I think we need to be accurate. They have to funnel through that bridge, and so if we can be closer, we can do more damage. That's what I'm looking to do. Mumford's guys with shotguns are in a bad way. That's not unexpected. I don't want to move that close with Hamptons. These Maynard carbines should do some good work. As much as I'd like to move up with this infantry and reinforce some of what's going on up here, I really just want to hold the line, blast that infantry as it comes forward. Alright, I believe this was the old reserve artillery, Pendleton's reserve artillery. Given what I've experienced on this map in the past, I hesitate to move them up too much, but I need them up close enough that they can pour shot on those groups who are trying to get over the middle bridge. Since they seem to be the first ones up, we also have, I don't know how long Getty has been here. I hope not too long, because I definitely wasted his presence. We'll see. I haven't checked in yet. Let's see how things are going. Hopefully they're going pretty well. We're in the early phase. Yeah, I mean 5,600 to 3,700 is about 7-to-1 casualties. Can't complain with that. But again, this has kind of been the favorable part before they can really bring the numbers they have to bear on us when they're trying to get across those bridges. That's when we're going to do great casualties. After that, probably not so much. Let's try to get these guys up into some cover. These guys up into some cover, so they're shooting from cover rather than shooting through cover. Hayes can maybe get up on that fence. Walker can get over there. I think these guys need to switch a bit to get some flanking fire on this force. It looks like it's going to break through these skirmishers, which it's supposed to do. Colquitt, gotta turn and face him. Hardaway is way up close, which is my fault. The good news is there is the 3rd Brigade, which is right inside its canister range. So we will take that. But again, the big push is all that Union stuff that is lined up on that side of the middle bridge and should be pushing stuff to the wall to get over that bridge, and they don't seem to be doing. They seem to be lining up their RD to blast our infantry, which is in a great position to be blasted. They absolutely can do that to us, but it doesn't quite get them what they need. I mean, it's not the artillery's fault, it's the infantry that's got to clear that bridge. Okay, we got to get those guys up to long range. We get these guys around at a different angle. Walker's brigade looks like they already have it. Yeah, let's get entrenched. I'm starting to come around to the idea. They seem to have completely abandoned this attack, which is fine for me. I'm going to move Tombs up to here. I'm going to put Manning over here on this one. I forget. So Pennington is just those guys. Yeah, this is what I and others have reported in various ways, which is that the commanders just lag. I mean, the justification from the devs for not being able to do anything with them is that, well, they're in these optimal positions to kind of give orders to everyone, but obviously that's not true if they constantly lag. And so I've mentioned it several times on the campaign episodes, but I hope and I'm cautiously optimistic that the devs will allow that option to users as to whether they want to be able to control the basically the HQ units on the battle maps. What do I want to give them? I'm not going to try to give them Spirited Charge. Morale I truly don't care about so much with these guys. I think this also happened to me on my one playthrough, which is that the Union just found a way to slip through these defenses. And so they end up pushing to the right, but I clearly forgot that. Anderson. Maybe we can set up there. That would be welcome. I really got to pull these guys back now. I mean, Hill's whole division, just let them across. As nice it would be to hold them there, you're gonna get flanked and wiped if you try that. I'll try to send some units over to deal with those who are flanking. We don't want to send artillery though, not when we have perfectly good targets in front of us. For its guys, yeah, that's my fault. I'm not sure what to do with guys with shotguns. I thought getting them up close would be the solution. Probably wasn't. Hampton's guys and others I would like to move to be able to use them against infantry, because the infantry is the immediate threat here. Have they made it across? Do they have their bridgehead? I'd like to get on them from different angles. I don't really want to just be... No, we don't want to line up on the fence of the road. But we want to force them to push us in every direction and kind of pull their army apart. Or just give us flanking and enfilade fire, and that'll be fine. How we doing? How are they doing? Yeah, I mean 2,000 casualties versus 9,000. You're not gonna probably find too much argument with 4.5 to 1 casualties. I doubt. Now Anderson should have given the order to move. It looks like he did. McLaw's guys are... I guess we'll move them into here so that they could support both the defense from the north and from the lower bridge, given the lack of activity that's taking place on lower bridge. That makes sense. Up here, I'm not sure how this standoff is going. I don't know if that's an engagement I want to keep going. I'm pretty close to their artillery. Texas Brigade. Gonna start swinging everybody to the right. Okay, you're good. Lee's good. It's just this whole mess here. I think you're gonna need morale, my friend. Same goes to all of you. I think you're gonna need morale to get through this. Other stuff is great, but morale is gonna matter. Some folks over here, change up the angle, and also possibly to support the defense up here to the north. Anderson's guys, I don't know. I think they're too far out of range to do much with the orders they've been given. It's kind of a wait and see. Hampton is disengaged over here, which is what I wanted. Want them to engage on that flank. These appear to be the kind of two main fronts of contention. One over here, certainly Union favored in terms of number of units. Skirmishers, I'm not sure what they're doing. Well, this is it. We'll see if the plan holds or if it crumbles. looks like there's another division up here that is probably going to cross this bridge up here, which is basically undefended at this point. No, we don't want everybody to move. Just some of them. What time are we up to? We're up to 8 in the morning. So, if this hasn't been fun, I don't know what it is. Yeah, in terms of ratio, the casualty rate, it's pretty even. At this point, we're outnumbered slightly more than 2 to 1, which is a concern. They're pushing on us. We should, I think, have a few more. Actually, that might be it. To me, some of the better news is that we're starting to even the number of guns on the field. So we started with a deficit of 250. We're losing. We're up in this deficit by 60. So down 150. So we're still down about 90 guns. So we're not winning the artillery duel. That's unfortunate, but it's not something that we can't come back from. So we'll see how things go. It seems like the two forces are converging right about where Roulette Lane is, just a touch north of the sunken road. It looks like we're going to do okay up here in the north. I'm not sure that Pelham's battery is going to do much more good here, and he's kind of taking everybody away from... He's taking the command, which is Stort's command, pretty far away from his troops. Schumacher is good as those things go. I don't know why. I think it's Tuttle is not moving up to engage. We got more than enough on our left. It's really the center position here, because they've ignored the right. It's the center position that is the major concern. Yeah, in a perfect world, I'd move Curtis and Brown, but they have good positions to fire on that huge horde that's trying to cross. I mean, that's 1, 2. That looks like probably close to 10 brigades are trying to make the pass. Okay, Ripley, you need to listen to me and get back, and not the way you want to. I don't know how you got stuck on that side of the river. That was not a... I don't know how you did that. Rains' old brigade. Alright. Yeah, and you guys are probably going to rout because you needed to move back. And you did not. We'll see if we can get you rallied. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the biggest threat seems to be a breakthrough in the center. So, wow, Colquitt's force was... Let's see if we can rally them, because we can't really afford to lose them. Move Cummings up, we'll move Semmes up. Lee. I'm not sure what happened there either. I don't know if that was artillery or what, but it seems like we have pretty much defended off the attack, the assault to the left, which is great. We now need to shift forces on the left to the center. because I'm not sure we're going to be able to fend off that attack. If that's artillery, that'll be fine. I want right group here. Okay, it's pretty inactive there. I don't know why there's this unmoving division up here. I mean, when they have me on the ropes like this, I mean, they gotta be full court pressing it. They should be sending them over this unnamed bridge up here, perhaps down here. They can make it over as well. Either of those would be fine. It looks like those skirmishers who were... Nah, it can't be skirmishers. There's more than 400 of them. Whatever those were, they broke. Unsurprising. Tombs is up there, but I want Tombs in the center. Alright, we have some forces here in the middle. Which we're going to move up. No, no, no. Not the artillery. Those dudes are exactly where they need to be. Kershaw will move you up. Barksdale will call on you once again. Have you move up. Alright, good. We've broken a lot of infantry groups, kind of lone infantry groups here. I don't know what we'll be able to get of Taylor. Stonewall brigades over here. I really don't want them sitting close to the artillery by the Miller farm. So we'll reposition south. That artillery's fine. I just want to get this cavalry over here. I'm a little bit more optimistic than I was 5 minutes ago. Not much, but I'm a little bit more. That's still a horde of Union, and you can see that they've now broken across forward. They're engaged. They got superior numbers here to what we got. We do have some arty, which is nice. Don't know where the heck they're going. Nope, you're not going down there. I don't know why this battery is so close, but it is, so we kind of just got to go with it at this point, rather than spend more time trying to get them back, or back them up. Walton's fine. Pryor, stick in the middle of things here. Right needs to come up. Check in briefly to see if there's anything worth reporting. No, not really. I mean, the ratio of casualties is nice, but that is in the 8,000, 24,000. It's basically 3-to-1 in terms of what I've inflicted. Though the casualty rate over here and the aggregate last return show you that it's a fairly close battle, though the top line disagrees and says that this is a Confederate major victory. I kind of agree with the top line. I mean, if you were going to take 3-to-1 casualties, and on this scale, it'd be a complete catastrophe. Come on, Mannings. You guys were locked on them before. Don't lose it now. I don't know if we're going to be able to rally Evans or not. We'll certainly try. Looks like we have maybe 2, 3, I see 4 routing Union, 5, 6 up here. All of those bode well for us. Let's get Barksdale shooting at the guys in front of them. And long range. Let's get long range from Pryor. almost dead. Now we're still getting pressed here in the center. This battle's not over. Lee, I don't know why. Pointed in the wrong direction, but you are. Schumacher, I don't see where you're going, but I know where you need to be. You ought to be over there. Willick's battalion can just fire, that's fine. That's okay too. I mean, from Walker, obviously, we're going to move him up. Perhaps not all the way, but far enough up that he can get an angle. Sims is up too far, he's taking flanking fire. At this point, though, it looks like we have a lot of infantry up here and nothing but arty in front of it, and I'm not interested in having my infantry get obliterated by arty, so I'm going to reposition the infantry. Hopefully in time. And we might be able to save the center. It's going to be close. I mean, you can all see what's going on here. We certainly don't have the brigades to do it right now, but we might after reinforcements show up. Looks like Ripley Jr. here somehow got himself... Oh, this is a ransom. Apologize to Ripley Jr. But it looks like the Union's still going to have the forces to just overwhelm. I believe it's the middle bridge. Yeah, this is lower bridge. So Kershaw is going to... Nope. Kershaw is going to have to go there. I don't know why they keep trying to get the... Arty to reposition. Barksdale can just reposition and face those guys. Sems, same thing. Can reposition to shoot the guys coming in. Man, Stonewall Brigade, I get that you have great morale, but you do not seem to want to move. Alright, so the top line has us up to a major victory. The consolidated report here has nearly 3-to-1 casualties in our favor. We've now almost erased the gap in guns. I hesitate to call it too early, or else... Not that they really bother me, but, you know, the YouTubeosphere might say, well, you know, you were about to lose and then you quit. So, if you believe that to be the case, we'll maybe play this through a bit more. If you've seen enough, hopefully I'll see you in the next installment. But for those who are skeptical that I could pull this off, I am going to try to... I don't know why we haven't taken long range. I am going to try to actually pull this one a little bit further ahead, so there's no doubt the CSA is able to win this battle. But I'm feeling a little bit more confident about the battle in the center. I'm just not confident about the right. I mean, for now, you can see we got several brigades lined up They're in good morale. Position, they're well supported by artillery. I probably shouldn't, but it's never stopped me before from moving up artillery. Just so maybe we can start getting some canister fire on them. I guess I'll prefer to wait to see if they're in position before I move up others, but that's what it's looking like. There is still this force up here, which is mostly arty now, and it looks like 1, 2, 3 infantry brigades. I just don't know that they're going to make the, when we shattered the Iron Brigade, I don't know that they're going to be able to push hard enough, fast enough to make a difference. Meanwhile, it looks like we got at least 4 artillery battalions, or brigades, that are firing in on the Union here. That's probably not good for them because it's all open field. So we have Curtis repositioned with his battery. Move Brown's, it's a small battery, 6-gun battery, but we're going to move it up anyways. Getty is still able to do some damage, so I think after this battery repositions, I'd like to move him up a bit because he's just at the kind of peak of what he can shoot. Walker's Stonewall Brigade still has not moved. Feuds are on, by the way. I turned like everything that could go wrong on, because I did not want an easy challenge here. And it doesn't show up that it's a feud that's keeping Stonewall's brigade. It's not Stonewall Jackson. He's leading the Corps, I believe. I saw him. But no. You don't move back. Just want you to make sure that you can fire down this flank. Schumacher, I'm talking to you, man. No? No? Better. Alright. Better is better. Walker, you don't want to be exposed up here in this field. If he already wants to shoot us, make him come closer. To me, this is something of a miracle that, well, I guess that's Hill's whole division. I don't know that we're going to get to rally Ripley, but I'm still going to try. It's not who I want. That's who I want. Rhodes's group. He's been cut off. Pryor's up here. Walker's down here. But we want to try to clear out this center position. I think once we do that, it's about a wrap. At this point, this area just north of the sunken road, it's hard to see how they make a comeback. If they've been pushed back on the right and on the left, and the Ardian infantry are moving to form this concave in the center, this time they have not. Well, you know, shouldn't speak too soon, but it doesn't look like they've had the breakthrough in the center that they had in the previous historical battle I fought here on Antietam. That was really key last time to driving everyone back. Though I have been crunked up here more than I was when I played last time. That was able to hold more concretely. The battle up here, though, was kind of a non-battle, or a battle of movement, which the AI appears to have lost. And the forces that are directly north, they're still there, but they're not really a serious threat to the Army, at least not in the way that other parts of the Union Army are a bit more threatening. So, consolidated strength report, yeah, it's 3-to-1 casualties. Still showing a major victory for the CSA. That's what we're going for here. I've not attentively raised their perks, as they may or may not have gotten them. I'm really starting to wonder if Ace of Spades is maybe the way to go just most of the time. Maybe not. But the role that covered plays, especially when you're defending, seems really, really good. Jenkins' brigade feels the need to run out. I'm not sure why. Okay, good. They ran out and got a flank position. Looks like Newton's in a bad way. Yeah, I'm okay with that result. I think there are reinforcements to be had. Okay. So they are here. Hill's division is here. I guess I would throw them in right about where the Piper farm is. And that may be most of what she wrote. It's sometimes frustrating that these units don't kind of pursue the units that run right across their line of sight, but it is what it is. This seems like a good set of engagements down here. Yeah, it's never great when your artillery is ran into by two infantry brigades. Looks like it's actually only one brigade in the HQ of others, but they're gonna get hit from 2 or 3 sides. You can see Newton in the middle breaks. Rhodes over here on my right, my center actually. It's right of that action, but it's the center of the line. Broke. But there's nothing left except for, it looks like Barleton? Is that Barleton? Barton's brigade, and that's probably not long for this world because it's completely unsupported. It's a good field of fire. That's a great field of fire. I think Getty was the one I was talking about earlier about moving them up. Now they've moved artillery over to our side. Not thrilled to see that. But there it is. Again, it's only 10:20 in the morning. I mean, this is nuts. For, let's just see what the most recent count is. Right? That's nuts casualties. I mean, still the 3-to-1 ratio. Again, the casualty rate shows up as 32 to 41. A little bit closer. But in effect, it's a 3-to-1 casualty ratio in terms of what's been inflicted. And we're fighting with a much smaller force. So this does not seem like a battle that the Union would want to continue engaging. Remember, this is historically the battle where the Union had Lee's plans. They still couldn't beat him. And I don't have the Union's plans so much for this one, but it's a pretty one-sided affair nonetheless. I guess in some ways they do have their plans, but it is the dynamic setting. They may still filter in attacks here from the north. I mean, they do have some brigades. Looks like 3, 4 infantry. Well, I can't quite tell if this unit has broken yet. Wofford broke. Never a good thing. Okay, but heart stuff looks like it also broke. So they got a 4 up here. I can't tell if that's a real one. Maybe an infantry or 2, but they're broken. You can see that in the center there's maybe 1 or 2 brigades that have not yet broken, but they're facing a lot of artillery and a lot of infantry. Coming over the bridge is probably the best story for the Union, but it's not a good story. And I guess if your best story is not a good one, you got problems, and they certainly do. I'm gonna start shifting some of the folks from the south, or from the north and the center, I'm sorry, over to my right. So that we can get good shots on those folks. But I'm gonna propose the ceasefire, and I am gonna call it here for a battle, just because in my view it's kind of ceased to be competitive. I don't see a way, given things have gone, that they're gonna climb their way back into it. Yeah, they still have more than a 2-to-1 advantage in men. But I know that I'm going to get reinforced. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get reinforcements, at least. I'm not definite on that, but I don't feel like I'm being pressed in any serious way. And I think from here on out, it's probably going to be a mop-up. So I will call it there as a bit of mercy on your time and mine. If you have stayed this long, that's fantastic. Appreciate it. I don't expect it, though. For the next one, I got to make a decision as to whether we're going to start a new campaign, try to resurrect the old one, or do a different historical battle. To me, those are 3 greater options, and just stick around to find out which one to choose. Until then, take it easy.